Hey, you guys, we're on to New Horizons. Today, we're starting for our Fairy Tale Fridays, Tales from the Arabian Nights, period. Scott, have you ever heard of the Tales from the Arabian Nights?
I heard of Arabian Nights. I didn't know there was tales from that.
Oh, there are tons of tales. Okay, as you guys can probably see, we're not in our normal studio because we're out of town visiting a sick family member. So we're only going to do one story tonight. We're going to do the interesting thing that happened at Perfect Acres Inc. tomorrow. We'll carry that on because we just got into town. So we're gonna put Oreo Jr. up over there. And we're gonna get started. And let me just intro y'all in here. Let me jump y'all in. Hopefully you guys know the story of King Henry VIII. But have you ever wondered, like, what would it look like if King Henry VIII, the wives that he had, decided, I'm gonna go be with him. I want to be with him so I could, save my city from him. Okay. Like totally just ride or die for your city. Have you ever wondered what that would be like? Scott, have you ever wondered if King Henry VIII's wives volunteered to be his wives, knowing he was crazy? Well, we're going to see what that looks like. In the chronicles of the ancient dynasty of the Sassanidae, these are Middle Eastern names. I have an English only speaking tongue. So, what we're going to do, we're going to give nicknames and there's going to be mispronunciations. My apologies in advance. Who reigned for about 400 years from Persia to the border of China, beyond the great river Ganges itself. We read the praises of one of the kings of this race, who was said to be the best monarch of his time. His subjects loved him, and his neighbors feared him. And when he unalived, he left his kingdom in a more prosperous and powerful condition than any king had done before him. RIP to him, honey. Okay? And period. Okay? This man left the kingdom better than he found it, period. hmm The two sons who survived him loved each other tenderly. It was a real grief for the elder, we gonna call him Big S, that the laws of the empire forbade him to share his dominions with his brother, Little S. But Little S ain't even really in here no more, so y'all just relax on that. Indeed, after 10 years, during which the state of things had not ceased to trouble him, Big S cut off the country of the great Tartani from the Persian Empire and made his brother king, period. Period. Now, the Sultan, Big S, had a wife whom he loved more than all the world, and his greatest happiness was to surround her with splendor. Yes. Scott, take notes. Y'all take notes out there. Okay. So surround her with splendor and to give her the finest dresses and most beautiful jewels.
I got some beautiful jewels to give you.
Be afraid. Be very afraid. Okay. Take her to Tiffany's. That's what he's saying right here. It was therefore with the deepest shame and sorrow that he accidentally discovered, after several years, that she had deceived him completely. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And her whole conduct turned out to have been so bad that he felt himself obliged to carry out the law of the land. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He gonna carry out the law of the land. And ordered the Grand Vizier to put her to unalive him. Okay, girl. FAFO, honey. The blow was so heavy that his mind almost gave away, and he declared that he was quite sure that at bottom all women were as wicked as the Sultana. Okay, sir, you turning into a little incel here. If you could only find them out, and that the fewer the world contained, the better. Didn't China do that with their one child rule and then they got rid of all the girls and now they having problems with the population? Sir, I don't know if this is a good idea. What you think? What y'all think? Y'all think this is an okay idea? Is anybody else like, ooh, If ain't no woman, how y'all gonna have babies?
It's a problem. It's one problem. There's a lot of problems there.
So every evening, he married a fresh wife and then had her strangled the following morning before the grand vizier, whose duty it was to provide these unhappy brides for the sultan. Okay, he's taking this thing very far. Okay, he like, oh, you gonna cheat on me? All these women out here cheating. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna marry all of them and have them strangled. Period. Period. Okay, this is what we're doing. The poor man fulfilled his task with reluctancy. I'm going to go with reluctancy. But there was no escape. And every day saw a girl married and a wife unalived. Is anybody else thinking that this man is giving King Henry VIII?
It's kind of making King Henry VIII look like a saint.
Is anybody else thinking that he's making King Henry VIII look like a saint? This behavior caused the greatest horror in the town, where nothing was heard but cries. In one house was a father weeping for the loss of his daughter, well, duh. And in another, perhaps a mother trembling for the fate of her child. And instead of the blessings that had been formerly heaped on the Sultan's head, the air was now full of curses. Oh, they tired of him. Oh, they said, sir, you doing a lot. Okay. The Grand Vizier himself was a father of two daughters, whom the oldest was called, we gonna call her Shira, because these names hard. I don't do this. The youngest, I'm gonna call her Diana. Like Dirty Diana. Oh. That sound like Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Do I look like Michael Jackson from Remember the Time? Is that the look I'm going for? Diana had no particular gifts to distinguish her from the other girls. Okay, she basic. But her sister was clever and courageous in the highest degree. Her father had given her the best masters in philosophy, medicine, history, and fine arts. And besides all this, her beauty excelled that of any girl in the kingdom of Persia, period. She hot.
Yeah.
One day, when the Grand Vizier was talking to his eldest daughter, who was his delight and pride, Shira said to him, Father, I have a favor to ask of you. Will you grant it to me? I can refuse you nothing, he replied. That is just and reasonable. Just listen, said Shira. I am determined to stop this barbarous practice of the Sultan and to deliver the girls and the mothers from the awful fate that hangs over them. It would be an excellent thing to do, returned the Grand Vizier. But how do you propose to accomplish it? My father, answered Shira, it is you who have to provide the Sultan daily with a fresh wife. And I implore you, by all the affection you bear me, to allow the honor to fall upon me.
Okay. She's got a plan.
She got a plan. She gonna save these people, honey. She is Shira. That used to be one of my favorite cartoons when I was a little kid. Okay, girl, you better go save the people, girl. Save the girls. Have you lost your senses? Cried the Grand Vizier, starting back in horror. What has put a thing into your head? You ought to know by this time what it means to be the Sultan's wife. Okay, girl, you getting strangled. Yes, my father, I know it well, she replied, but I am not afraid to think of it. If I fail, my unaliving will be a glorious one. Girl, no, your daddy gonna have to strangle you, honey. That's not glorious. That's crazy. Anyway, and if I succeed, I shall have done a great service to my country, period. She loyal. She down. Huh? It is of no use, said the Grand Vizier. I shall not consent. If the Sultan was to order me to plunge a dagger in your heart, I should have to obey. What a task for a father! Ah, if you do not fear unaliving, fear at any rate the anguish you would cause me. Once again, father, said Shira, will you grant me what I asked? What are you, why are you still so hard-headed? Exclaimed the grand visor. Why are you so resolved upon your own ruin? But the maiden absolutely refused to attend to her father's words, and at length, in despair, the grand vizier was obligated to give way, and went sadly to the palace to tell the sultan that the following evening he would bring Sheba. I mean, I guess it would have happened at a point once he got through with all the other women. So I mean, hey, let's get it on out the way, I guess. The sultan received the news with great astonishment. How have you made up your mind, he said, to sacrifice your own daughter to me? Let's pause for the cause. Time out. Time out. Time out. Oreo Jr. Time out. Is anybody else thinking, like, how the hell are y'all having these conversations? This is crazy as hell.
So crazy.
Okay, but I guess this is where we're at. Okay. Sire, answered the great vizier, it is her own wish. She crazy as hell. Even the sad fate that awaits her could not hold her back. Okay, he probably think. Let me tell you, the sultan probably over there thinking, I'm that dude. I'm that dude. Let there be no mistake, vizier, said the sultan. Remember, you will have to take her life yourself. If you refuse, I swear that your head shall pay forfeit. Y'all playing these games, honey. Sire, returned the vizier, whatever the cost, I will obey you. Though a father, I am also your subject. So the sultan told the grand vizier he might bring his daughter as soon as he liked. You loyal as hell, sir. I'm just saying, you loyal. I don't know if I could be that loyal. Put it in the comment section if you could be that loyal, because I'll be like, I was just playing. I was just gonna see what you was gonna say, sir. Anyway, the vizier took back the news to Sheba, who received it as if it had been the most pleasant thing in the world. She thanked her father warmly for yielding to her wishes, and seeing him still bowed down with grief, told him she hoped she would never repeat having allowed her to marry the Sultan. Then she went to prepare herself for the marriage. Okay, girl, you get married. And begging that her sister Diana should be sent to for speak to her. Sorry, the verbiage is kind of weird here, so it's gonna take me a minute to get into it. When they were alone, Sheba addressed her thus: My dear sister, I want your help in a very important affair. My father is going to take me to the place to celebrate my marriage with the Sultan. When His Highness receive me, I shall beg him, as a last favor, to let you sleep in our chamber.
Okay.
Don't you do special things on wet nights? And your sister just gonna be up in there? Y'all think he was doing all them chicks before he had them strangled the next morning?
Probably. Why marry?
We doing a lot in this book. Okay. Where was I? I'm sorry, y'all. So that I may have your company during the last night I am alive. If, as I hope, he grants me my wish, be sure that you will wake me an hour before the dawn and speak to me these words, my sister. If you are not asleep, I beg you, before the sun rises, to tell me one of your charming stories. Then I shall begin and hope by this means to deliver the people from the terror that reigns over them. Diana replied that she would do with pleasure what her sister wished. When the unusual hour arrived, the grand vizier conducted Sheba to the palace and left her alone with the sultan, who bade her raise her veil and was amazed at her beauty. He still gonna unalive her though. But seeing her eyes full of tears, he asked, "What was the matter?" "Sire," replied Shira, "I have a sister who loves me as tenderly as I love her. Please give me the favor of allowing her to sleep this night in the same room on our wedding night," which is kind of weird, but okay. "As it is the last night we shall be together." Shira consented to, or oh, I'm sorry, Big S consented to Shira's petition, and Diane was sent for. An hour before daybreak, Diane woke up and exclaimed, as she had promised. Now, y'all better be lucky that this chick woke up, because I don't know if I'll be able to wake up.
Yeah.
Like, that's just
I was
me.
just
Yeah, like I would have been knocked out. Like, oh, girl, oh, wait, oh, I'm going to a funeral. Sorry, that's not funny, but um my dear sister, if you are not asleep, tell me, I pray you, before the sun rises, one of your charming stories. It is the last time I shall have the pleasure of hearing you. Shira did not answer her sister, but turned to the Sultan. "Will your highness permit me to do as my sister asked?" she said. "Willingly," he answered. So Shira began. Here we go. Y'all ready? The story of the merchant and the genius. I will be playing the genius tonight. My beard want to come off, so I gotta hold it. Sorry, y'all. Sire, there was once upon a time a merchant who possessed great wealth in land and merchandise, as well as in ready money. He was obliged from time to time to take journeys to arrange his affairs. One day, having to go a long way from home, he mounted his horse, taking with him a small wallet in which he put a few biscuits and dates, because he had to pass through the desert where no food was to be got. That's wild. Like, think about it. There was a time we didn't have convenience stores, gas stations. You just had to like take your own food. It was crazy. He arrived without any mishap, and having finished his business, set out on his return. On the fourth day of his journey, the heat of the sun being very great, he turned out of his road to rest for some trees. He found at the foot of a large walnut a fountain of clear and running water. Okay, sir, you lucky. You in the desert. He dismounted, fastened his horse to a branch of the tree, and sat by the fountain. After having taken from his wallet some of his dates and biscuits, when he had finished this frugal meal, he washed his face and hands in the fountain. When he was thus employed, he saw an enormous genius. Hi. By genius, they mean genie. But it says genius for real. Like, y'all see it. It's a genius. Anyway, white with rage, coming towards him with a knife in his hand. "Arise," he cried in a terrible voice, "and let me unalive you as you have unalived my son." He uttered these words with a frightful yell. The merchant, quiet, as much as terrified at the hideous face of the monster as his words, answered him trembling, "Alas, good sir, what can I have done to you to deserve unaliving?" "I shall unalive you," replied the genius, "as you have unalived my son." "But," said the merchant, "how can I have unalived your son? I do not know him. I have never even seen him." "When you arrived here, did you not sit on the ground?" "Sir, what is your son, an ant?" Anyway, said asked the genius, "And did you not take some dates from your wallet? And whilst eating them, did you not throw the stones about?" "Yes," said the merchant, "I certainly did." "Then," said the genius, "I tell you, you have unalived my son. For whilst you were throwing about the stones, my son passed by." Like, what the hell is your son, a ghost? And how you dying from date pits? They're not that big. Anyway, I'm sorry. Sorry, let's get back to the story. I'm sorry. "My son passed by, and one of them struck him in his eye and unalived him. So I shall unalive you." "Ah, sir, forgive me," cried the merchant. "I will have no mercy on you," answered the genius. "But I unalived your son quite unintentionally, so I implore you to spare my life." "No," said the genius. I shall kill you as you have unalived my son. This man is angry. This is the genius right here. Look at him. He's a genius, honey. He's smart. Got a big old machete knife. Anyway. Oh, did you see?
Oh.
Yeah, he about that life. He about that life. Okay. He about that life. I look like I'm about that life too. Anyway. No. Oh, wait. And so saying, he seized the merchant by the arm and threw him on the ground and lifted his sword to cut off his head. These people are just not having a good time here.
Yes.
It's just violence. Oh my God. Okay, back to the violent story. The merchant protested his innocence, bewailed his wife and children, and tried pitifully to avert his fate. The genius, with his raised sword, waited until he finished, but was not in the least touched. Okay. Sheba, at this point, seeing that it was day and knowing that the Sultan always rose very early to attend the council, stopped speaking. Indeed, sister, said Diana, this was a wonderful story. The rest is still more wonderful, replied Sheba. And you would say so if the Sultan would allow me to live another day and would give me leave to tell it to you the next day. Big S, who had been listening to Sheba with pleasure, said to himself, I will wait until tomorrow. I can always have her unalived when I have heard the end of her story, sir. Just casual with it, sir. He's just very casual. Okay, sir. He just want to hear this story.
All right.
Okay, sir. All this time, the Grand Vizier was in a terrible state of anxiety. Of course you were. But he was much delighted when he saw the Sultan enter the council chamber without giving the terrible command that he was expecting. So we're going to stop right there. We're going to stop this video off. We're going to stop right there. I'm the genius, though. Don't forget that. Okay, so we're going to stop right there and we'll continue. I'm keeping y'all on a cliffhanger how she kept y'all on a cliffhanger, period. I'm Sheba. But really, I'm the genius. And my thing want to fall off. Okay, so we're going to stop right here. And we're going to do what we always do. What stood out to you guys? Put it in the comment section for you guys out there. Scott, what stood out to you?
Seems to be a pretty rough place to live, especially if you're a woman.
Don't do it.
Or a merchant who eats dates.
Right, and throws the pits down, because then here come the genius, like, oh my God, you didn't unalive somebody, I gotta cut you up.
I don't know if I was eating a date and I threw the pit and it hit someone and unalive them, I kind of feel like I would notice that.
This is what we doing in Arabian Nights. This is Arabian Nights. They got geniuses. So the man's smart enough to know his son ain't there no more. Period. He's a genius.
I see.
Okay. What stood out to me was these people violent, honey. It sounded like Old Testament. It sounded like Old Testament to me. I don't know. It sounded like this man. It sounded like the Sultan got some attachment issues that are weird, and it's giving Old Testament. Okay, that's what it's giving.
It is.
Did you have anything else?
I do not.
Sorry guys, I'm a little off today because we just literally got out the car and I'm tired. So it's time for us to go to bed. So with that, I'm gonna bid you guys adieu. As always, we enjoyed having you guys here. We hope you guys enjoyed spending some time with us and hearing all these violent stories. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, check out some other videos, some shorts, some lives, all that good stuff. And with that, we're going to bid you guys adieu. So from wherever we are, even in the desert, being a genius, baby. Do you see me being a genius? I'm a genius. To wherever you guys are, peace, love, and happiness. Enjoy your Friday night. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. You know what? I'll just throw this book in there. Or you know what? No, we'll just continue next week with this. And then we'll continue on with It's a Super Scary Saturday Sleepover. And
That's a super scary Saturday.
that could have been, yes. Okay. These people are violent, baby. Okay. It only gets crazier. So It's a Super Scary Saturday sleepover and the interesting thing that happened at Perfect Actors Inc. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.